Very good morning to my class 11 students. I hope all are doing good. So let's start with chapter number 5, Theory of Demand. I started this again because I understood that there is a huge gap between the introduction and the current topic now. So let's begin our chapter, the theory of demand. Now we need to understand the difference between desire, want and demand. How a desire converts into want and then a demand. Desire is what? My wishes. Like I want to go to work. And then I do not have the money. If I do not have the money, then it will remain as a wish. But if I have the purchasing power to go there, only then it becomes a demand. But yes, my willingness to use my money should be there. If I am not willing to go there, do I have the money? But then it's not a demand. So let's take one example for this. There is a beggar. He thinks that I also want to go on a picnic spot with my family. But is he able to go there? What do we need? The desire is there, but the want is there? Not yet. But let's see what happens. Oh, all of a sudden, he has got one lottery and he won 1 lakh rupees in the lottery. Now he wants to go there. Oh, but in between, he might thought that I should have consumed a lot of food and I should spend my money in buying a house. So is it a demand? No, because the willingness to use the resource is not there. It will convert into a demand when I want to spend my money to go on a picnic spot, right? So what does demand include? Demand includes a desire, your means to purchase, that means the purchasing power, your money, and willingness to use it on a particular idea which was created at the time of desire. Now I have taken one example. Demand for car in India is 80,000 units. Is it a correct statement? Am I able to understand something? No. Demand for car in India, which is worth 5 lakh, is 80,000 units. कि इंडिया में डिमांड कितनी है? जो भी गाड़ियाँ 5 लाख की हैं उनके 80,000 यूनिट्स हैं. No, it doesn't make a sense. Is it making the sense now? Demand for car in India in 2019, which is what 5 lakh, is 80,000 units. Yes, now it makes the sense. How does it make the sense? What do I get from this data? I get the quantity, the price of the commodity plus period of time. Quantity is 80,000 units, price is 5 lakh, and period of time is 2019. So demand is expressed through these terms. Now the concept of demand, we know that we need a desire, we should be willing, and the ability to pay. Then my desire converts into a want and then a demand. So the definition of this is, the concept of demand means quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to purchase at various prices during a given period of time. Alright, 3 things are there: quantity, willingness, and the time period. Now what does the concept of demand says? For example, if you desire to have a car but you do not have enough money to buy it, then this desire will remain just a wish. It cannot be called a demand. But if in spite of having enough money you do not want to spend it on car, then it again cannot be called a demand. But if you have the desire, become demand only when you are ready to spend to buy it on a car. Now what is the difference between an individual and a market demand? When the demand is created by one individual for a particular commodity is known as a individual demand, whereas the demand for the commodity is created by various consumer for the commodity in market is known as market demand. We can understand it by looking at this schedule. Individual demand, prices are given, quantity demanded are also given. We can see प्राइस जब 1 था तो क्वांटिटी 4 मांग रहे थे, 2 हुआ 3, ऐसे ही वो गिरती चली गई. देन मार्केट डिमांड में क्या हुआ, कंज्यूमर ए एंड कंज्यूमर बी भी ऐड हो गए. तो फर्स्ट देखा जब 1 रुपये थे, तो जब दोनों कंज्यूमर की डिमांड को ऐड किया, दैट इज 4 + 5 = 9, तो 9 लोग मांग रहे थे. ऐसे ये क्या हो गया, प्राइस के साथ साथ ये भी डिमांड जो थी मार्केट डिमांड कम होती चली गई. नाउ factors affecting individual demand. What are the main factors that influence the individual demand? Definitely the price of the commodity. Whenever the price rise, demand falls. When the price falls, the demand will rise. And this is proportional to inversely proportional. Now, ceteris paribus says other things being equal is a Latin word which says the demand for a commodity is inversely related to its price. If there is a rise in price, that means there is a fall in demand. As you can see, price goes up, demand goes down. Price goes down, then demand goes up. Simple logic. Okay, now what can be the determinants or the factors that affect the demand? Number 1 is price. We have already seen the law of demand state that other things being constant and inversely proportional. What happens then? It implies that rise in price of commodity brings about a fall in purchase and it gets opposite, right? I explained to you in the previous slide already. So let's move on to the next slide. Price of related goods. Now what can be the related goods? There are 2 types. Number 1 is substitute goods. Number 2 is complementary. Now what do you mean by substitute good? These are those goods which can be substituted for each other. For example, tea and coffee, ball pen and ink pen. In case of such goods, increase in the price of one causes increase in the demand for the other. Okay. Now in complementary goods, what happened? एक दूसरे के बिना अधूरे. Complementary goods are those goods which are consumed together, जिनको एक साथ लेना ही पड़ता है. अब ऐसे कौन कौन से goods हैं जिनको हमें simultaneously साथ साथ लेना पड़ता है, वो हम देखेंगे. Okay, like pen and ink, car and petrol, sugar and tea. ये हमें साथ में लेने ही पड़ते हैं, right? So complementary goods are those goods which complete the demand for each other. For example, car and petrol. In these cases of complementary goods, a fall in the price of one causes increase in the demand for the other, and rise in the price of one causes decrease in the demand for the other. Okay. Other factor is taste and preferences. Taste and preferences includes our fashion, or when we influenced by the advertisements, or there is change in sudden new fashion, new inventions. Okay, so other things being equal, what happened? Demand for those goods increases, for which the consumer develops the taste and preference. Like you can see in the example, bell bottom pens from to pencil cut pants. So finally, the law of demand, same as we have studied in ceteris paribus, the demand for a good extends with a decrease in price and contracts with an increase in price. And that means an inverse relationship. Okay, the term or the thing being constant means that income of the consumer is constant, his taste and preference and price of other related goods remains constant. So if you have any question in this video, you can please ask to me. Thank you everyone for paying your attention. I hope you are able to understand.